It's Evie. Hello. The longer I'm on here and the more I get to know the ladies, the more I find myself thinking about you. And I like that. First, I'm going to mention Debbie Sue because she was the only one that noticed my new sign in my video yesterday. And I really hoped that by not saying a word that you ladies would be like, I want one, I love it. Debbie Sue wants one. But none of you guys noticed. Or maybe you noticed and you hated it and you didn't want to be mean and say, it's ugly. But I like it. Okay, now, the next part I'm going to mention Sally D's reality, because she had a video on her fall decorations. And I said, I'm not doing my fall until September 21st. I've got a whole big, casket-sized box up in the attic of fall decorations. And I'm not going to go get those before the first day of fall. But I did want to switch out some flowers to more fall-colored flowers. So I went to Hobby Lobby. So the part about Sally is she kind of got me fired up with the fall. And I know there's a lot of people doing the fall decorations, but for some reason, when I saw her video, I was like, oh, okay, I'm not going to go get it out of the attic, but I'll just run up to Hobby Lobby, get specifically flowers for that. And now we move on to Paula. Dear sweet Paula that says she's losing her mind. Something along those lines. She can't remember anything. And she talked about being in the grocery store and spent all that time shopping. And then she paid for her groceries and they were bagged up and put back in the cart. And she promptly turned and walked out the door to leave, with people running after her, yelling and hollering, ma'am, your groceries, your groceries. I find it hilarious. Well, I had a similar incident today, not near as bad as yours was, Paula, I promise. But it made me think of you. So I'm waiting in line at Hobby Lobby. There's a lady behind me. Fortunately, it wasn't very busy. But there's a lady behind me and she's probably about my age, maybe a little bit older. And she's got all this stuff in her hands and it's like a bag of little decorative pumpkins and maybe some like potpourri stuff. And so anyway, she's like got her fingers interlocked around all this and her phone is up on her shoulder and she's trying to set stuff down without it getting in my way. So, I kind of scooched my stuff over and she gets all but this one like big flower thing that she had in her hand. I think it might have been pussy willows that she had on a stick. And I said, all you need is one more hand. And she goes, oh, I know. And then we talked about when you get up through the line and you've been holding stuff, under your arms or in your fingers, like they barely want to bend and open because you just had this death grip on them while you're shopping. Anyway, she's setting this stuff down and we just had a few more words together. And then I paid for my items and I walked out. And after I got completely outside, halfway to my car, I hear this lady say, ma'am. I recognize it's the same voice of the lady I'd already been talking to. She goes, is this yours? And I said, and I'm looking in the one bag that I'm carrying. And yes, it was my second bag. So you're not alone, Paula. I want to show you what I did buy, and I actually did get home. This is the bag that the lady was chasing me down with. And all it is flowers. And I should have noticed that I didn't have anything this size in my one bag. I like the way they smell. They almost have like a cinnamony smell from being in the store. And what I did remember to get, one of these decorations, I could not decide whether to get or not. I'll show it to you first. Because let me start with, not last year, but pretty I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, I put a Christmas tree up and I put pumpkins in that were on picks. And I had, I don't remember what I used for garland. I decorated it for fall, Thanksgiving. And I loved it. Then when Christmas came, or Thanksgiving was over, I just pulled those decorations off and we went with Christmas. And I was like, I'm gonna do this every year. But it takes time and I only did it that once. So maybe I'll do it this year. But I found this little tree and it is darling. And I was like, but it's too Christmassy, but it's orange. And so it's got a little battery pull here. Isn't that cute? I don't know where I'm gonna put it. It was one of those things where you see it and you're like, yes. So I'm gonna find a place for that. Hopefully you will be able to see it. I got, this was, I should have told you, this was $6.49 with 40% off. And this is cute. And it's heavier than it looks like it is. I don't know if it's got sand in it or what. They had little gnomes as well. But I think she's very cute. She was $2.49, 40% off of that. I got 2 of these. And I think I'm gonna sew them together. It's called a felt sewing kit, and obviously it's a turkey. I'm gonna sew them all but shut and then let the little boys stuff them. If not, I'll completely make them and give them these for Thanksgiving. But these I thought they could do. It's 2 paddle ball toys, and they have 4 colors of pens. So I'm sure they won't color more than, you know, a little bit of scribbling, but how fun is that? $1.99, 40% off. And these turkeys, $2.99, 40% off. Usually I always think of Hobby Lobby as expensive because when I decorated years ago, I had a big shelf that was way up high. I don't know how tall the ceilings were, if they were 10 feet or 12 feet, but they were tall. And there was a shelf that ran along the top. And I put all these like Southwest rustic decorations, and I got everything, nearly everything at Hobby Lobby. It was expensive. I got this for, by the front door, I have one of those flag holders. There's nothing in it right now. I took the last one down. I think it said spring and I forgot to change it for summer. We had a storm coming through and it was half off, so I took it off. And the last thing I got is these cute little lights. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. I just got them because they were cute. But they're green, orange, and like a burnt red. I don't know how many. Oh, there's 20 lights on here. $3.99 minus 40%. Oh, and I forgot to say that this was, I think $5.99 less 40%. So I'm going to shut this off and change my flowers out, figure out where I'm gonna put my little pumpkin and my lights, and I'll be back. I'm back. I got all the flowers put in, and here's the little light up tree. Got the little leaf lights put up, and my little, I guess you'd call her a scarecrow. I honestly think it's a little too much light, but I like it. I'm gonna leave it up. And I guess that's it. It seemed like it took so much longer. I did do a live really quick while I was doing the flowers and did a little chat with some people. I think I've said before that I rehomed one of my parrots, and he'd been with me since he was 4 months old, and he turned 5 in July. So it was a very big decision to make. And I did put an ad for him on a site that only deals with birds. It's not like a Facebook page where you get a whole bunch of people that are, you know, trying to get your bird that don't know anything about birds or think it's just a good whimsical idea of the day. So I did find a very nice family for him. And Tuesday was a week that he's been gone, and the family has kept in good contact with me, and he is doing fantastic. I did a FaceTime with him. He did recognize me and went right back to the girl that he was interacting with. The home he's in is much more his style. There's a lot more activity. There's a mom, she's 41, so I assume dad's close to the same age. The boy is 9 and the girl is 12. And he's in a big 2-story house and he's out all day long. The kids are homeschooled and the mom is there, of course. He's having the time of his life. I'm getting multiple videos of him. I sent crafting supplies to make him toys, which I couldn't do too well for very long with my fingers. Anyway, it has gone fantastic. I did turn down 2 very serious people I considered before I went with the family that I went with. And of course, you know, people that kind of in the beginning don't seem like that it would be right for him, I dismissed. When the girl, the 12-year-old girl, her name is Elise, when she came to the house, I already had Benny in a carrier, and he talks. And I handed her the carrier, and he's immediately saying, "What are you doing? Tickle, tickle, tickle." Just going down all of the words that he says. And she handed me a piece of paper where she had drawn a picture of him from my bird channel. So she had it she took a screenshot from it and she drew him. And this is the picture that she brought with her when she picked him up. And on the back, she dated it 8/25/25. "Thanks for trusting me and my family with your baby. He will be very loved and cared for, Elise." Isn't that precious? I mean, the thought and time that she took to make this for me means a lot to me. So today was all about getting a little more fallish, and I did it. And I'll take my big box down in a little over a week, and I'll put out what I'm going to put out for the rest of the season. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.